One of my subscribers told me to buy Burning Shadows booster boxes. You ask, I deliver. Hello, this is Barry from Barry Collector. Welcome back to this new video. As you probably already guessed, today we're going to take a look at Burning Shadows, see if it's worth buying, see the cards inside it, take a look at what the Rainbow Charizard goes for, and we'll try to draw our conclusions. So, as I already showed you here in one of my videos where I talked about how good of a set Chrome Zenith is, and if you want to go watch it, I'll leave the link as I'm talking. Should be popping up here on the top right of the screen. One of my subscribers told me to buy Burning Shadows. So, first thing first, Burning Shadows. I do like the artworks. I think it's pretty cool. If we take a look at what prices are doing on TCG Player, and here we take a look at the yearly price chart that we have available, we see how they went from 350 to 430, and then they drop a little bit. That's nothing new. Everyone could have seen that. So we're also seeing how it is selling right now for around $400. And what is important is that it is selling. So today is December 24th, and as you can see here, we have had sales in the past 2 weeks of 4 boxes. So boxes are indeed selling. Now, as always, as we like to do here on the channel, we also like to take a look at the European market. Living myself in the European Union, I'm very interested in what the European market is doing. So here, if we take a look at just the English version of this box, we can see how it is selling starting from 375 euros, which is roughly, as of today, $400. So it's pretty interesting how they are selling for similar prices, if not equal. And if we take a look at the picture of it, it looks mint to me. I don't see any issues with the wrap, at least in front, and the corners, the edges, looks pretty good to me. So it's not damaged, and it is selling for right around what is selling in the American market. So that being said, if you're a bit familiar with how I like to operate on the channel, you probably know already that I like to take a look at the number of booster boxes available in the market. I cannot control demand. I actually cannot control supply either, but I can at least get an estimate of what the supply is. Now, as I like to say, we can only tell the number of boxes listed. Can someone have thousands of boxes in their warehouse? Yes, it's possible. How can we tell? We do not know. So again, obviously showing only what I know. And for Burning Shadows, as you can see here, there are 43 boxes on TCG Player, 25 on Card Market, and these two are the lowest listed that are available. TCG Player, everything is in the US dollar, Card Market is in euros. So we see how prices are fairly similar, and that is, in my opinion, quite interesting, because we're going to take a look at another set which came out a bit after Burning Shadows, and the situation is a bit different. So for reference, Burning Shadows came out, as you can see here, on August 4th, 2017, which makes it a bit over 6 years old. Now, the question is, how come a 6-year-old box is $400 and Evolving Skies, which is 2.5, let's say 2.5 years old, also $400? Well, I'm no genius, but as I also mentioned in my previous video on Chilling Reign, at the end of the day, if you want to use the simplest of model, it's supply against demand. And the only tool, the only medium you have bring equilibrium is price. So if demand is not there and supply is also not a bit limited, price must go down because nobody wants it. Now, I'm not saying that nobody wants Burning Shadows. Can it be undervalued? Well, it could. Who knows? What I'm saying is that I already, just by looking at prices, I can already tell that the cards inside probably are not that interesting. So taking a look at what's inside Burning Shadows, we sorted everything here by best-selling, as it's a bit interesting how the best-selling card is the Secret Rare Gold Escape Rope, which I would assume it is only this expensive because it's played. I don't have the Secret Rare version, but obviously it's played basically in every deck. And then obviously the well-known Rainbow Rare Charizard GX. Now let's sort everything by price, high to low. Charizard GX is the most expensive card. It's also the chase card. And then the problem with this set is that this is highly expensive. We'll see how much it goes in a PSA 9 and in a PSA 10. And as you can see already, it goes for around $350 to $400 in your mint condition, raw. And then we have Darkrai GX, Machamp, Gardevoir, and Marshadow. Now, these cards are not that expensive. They're right around $15 to $20. And the lower they go, the less card we have. Now, the problem with this card is not only that they're not that expensive, but it's the pull rate. Now, I did some research. I read that the average pull rate for just the Charizard is 1 in every 1,000 packs. It's quite a lot. It's over 4 cases. And that's a lot, guys. Let's think about it. 1 in every 1,000 pack. And same goes for the other Rainbow Rares. They're just hard to pull, and that makes the box not really worth opening. Plus, I mean, it might be just my personal taste. Happy to know what you guys think about it. But the cards that I really want to pull are the Charizard, the Darkrai, the Machamp, the Gardevoir, and that's pretty much it. And it looks like, it's not only my opinion, because these are the most expensive card. And then again, supply, demand, and price is a tool. If demand goes higher, price must go higher, as long as supply stays the same. So it's really already, you can already tell just by looking at prices which card people want. Now, you could argue, well, but what if this Darkrai GX Ultra Rare is just $5, but it should be $10? Well, there could be an imbalance in the market, but I don't really see how that would happen. Now, again, that just by looking at singles. Now, if we take a quick look at what the Charizard goes for in a PSA 9, we can see how here we have $529, the most recent sale. However, if we do take a look at auctions, the last one that went for auction last week was $374, whereas if we scroll a bit lower, $462, so quite a difference here in just a matter of 3 days, $420, $431. So I would think it's safe to say that it goes for $400 to $430 in a PSA 9. Now, what is very interesting is a PSA 10 copy of this card. As you can see here, we need to scroll down. The most recent sale is on December 4th, and it went for $2,700 best offer. Scroll down again, auctions, 1 day earlier, $2,200, 3,000 Canadian, and so on. So it is around $2,200 to $2,400 US, which is quite a lot. Now, first thing I thought is, well, if the price difference between a 9 and a 10 is so large, such a gap, what's the population? And if we do take a look at the population of this card, first of all, we have 32,000 PSA graded cards of this set, compared to more recent set such as Astral is quite a lot. Nevertheless, if we look for Charizard GX, which is number 150, we can see how we do have 812 PSA 10 graded cards, and then 2,157 PSA 9. So really, it's a bit less than 50%. Roughly looks like around 40 to 45%, which it's not that bad actually. And I was expecting actually a lower number here, as well as a worse ratio. But really, at this point, I'm thinking that people just really want the Charizard in a PSA 10. The only thing I can think of is, yes, if you do compare it to more recent numbers that we're used to in the Sword and Shield era, this is like nothing. But given the ratio here, I'm thinking that people just really want this card in a 10. So that's quite interesting. Now, when it comes to booster boxes, and now we're back at what my subscriber gently suggested, should we buy it? Now, why do we want to buy a box of any set in the first place? So if we want to buy it thinking that it will go up, well, that's always obviously risky. If you want to buy it thinking of how much lower can it dip, how much lower can it go, what's the downside risk, when obviously when you buy a more expensive box, this downside risk, at least in my humble opinion, is higher than if you were to buy a box at $90, a modern box at $90. That being said, what I think also we should consider is, do people want this in their Shield collection? Will people perhaps streamers, YouTubers want to open the set 5, 3, 10 years down the line. Is it worth opening? Now, the only way I see this set, this box worth opening is that if you're doing like a Charizard theme hunt, because there's no really many other cards you can pull, and the chance you're gonna pull it, including the Charizard, as I said, it's so limited, it's so tiny that the moment you open the box, and yes, that applies to almost every booster box, you're going to lose a lot of money. You're going to have fun. If you're a streamer, you're going to make content, but you're going to lose money. So that being said, will people want to open the box? Who knows? Do I think the box is cool? It's a good looking box. Yes. Look at the ho-ho there. I really like it. Now, one thing, as I said, I wanted to also take a look at. If you enjoyed the video so far, please don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next update. We just hit 100 subscribers, which I'm really proud of. I will do an opening to celebrate soon. As well as don't forget to join the Discord. You'll find the link in the description of the channel, as well in the description of the video. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'd also want to take a look at another set that came out a bit after Burning Shadows, and that is Ultra Prism. Now, we've seen quite the gain here, basically almost 100% gain in the past year with Ultra Prism box. And as you can see here, there have been, at least here on TCG Player, a bit less recorded sales for this specific box. As you can see, the last one was on December 10th, and it sold for $660. Now, listed here, again, same price, $670. And if we take a look again at the European market, we can see how there's only really 7 boxes. The cheapest one is for $595, which is quite interesting given the fact that, again, it's pretty equal to the American counterpart, despite the fact that there are much less available. Indeed, if we take a look again at the spreadsheet, we can see how there are 7 on Common Market, 16 on TCG Player. These are the lowest listed, these are the highest, and the set came out, as I mentioned, on February 2nd, 2018. So this set is almost 6 years old. So one thing I want to speak about here, talk about, is why this box is more expensive than Burning Shadows, what are the cards inside it, and is it worth buying rather than buying Burning Shadows. So if we take a look at what's inside here, it's, as you can see, mainly it's full art trainers, waifu cards. And let's take a look at Lily, which is, as you can see, the most expensive card in the set. And as you can see here, it's basically the same chart as the booster box. It doubled here in price, whereas it failed to double in price the booster box, but we've had this massive gain for a trainer card. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, or I think it was one of my last videos either way, and I got a pretty nice comment on it, I'm not into waifu cards. I do not like them. I only like trainers when I have to play the game, and I'm more than happy having the cheapest version of whatever trainer I need. Now, do people like them? I respect them. Everyone should buy what they like. I do believe in that, but genuinely do not know how long these prices can last. That's my humble opinion again. I think this is only due to the fact of how well trainers, waifu cards perform over the last year. And the question, obviously, which no one really knows an answer to, is, are they going to keep on doing better? I wouldn't bet on it. I do not know the future. I'm happy, as always, to know what you guys think about it. I'm not into them. Maybe some of you are. Maybe most of you are. Who knows? But I personally don't see the point on buying this box because of what trainers. Whereas, actually, I do think that genuinely there are better cards here, Pokemon cards, actual Pokemon, rather than on Burning Shadows. You have Leafeon, Glaceon, and then you have Palkia and Dialga. So already here, I think you have much a broader and at least more wanted by fans selection of Pokemon. And that also is reflected on by price, as you can see here. If you remember the, let's say, Darkrai GX, which was the most expensive card, Pokemon card after the Charizard was $20. Here the Glacian is $40. So I do prefer these cards over what Burning Shadows has to offer. I think these have a broader fan base, but nonetheless pull rates are pretty much the same given the fact that they are the same rarity, and you already see that people like them because they are more expensive than the same rarity different cards in Burning Shadows, and that already is reflected in the price of the box. Trying to sum up what I try to talk about in this video, it's Burning Shadows set something to buy? Well, I don't know. If you really enjoyed it, if you think it'll do good, then I don't see why you shouldn't go for it, especially if you can get it for a bit below market price. Would I go with Ultra Prism rather than Burning Shadows? No, I personally wouldn't. Why? I said it. I just think it's this expensive mainly just because of waifu cards. And that being said, considering that Burning Shadows is almost $300 cheaper than Ultra Prism, perhaps we might see a bit more upside growth. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments what you think about both Burning Shadows and Ultra Prisms. Let me know what you'd like me to do a video next. I'm happy to cover whatever you guys want. Don't forget to stay tuned as we are going to celebrate this important milestone for myself, which is 100 subscribers here on YouTube. Join the Discord if you want to stay updated, trying to grow a community of Pokemon and also Yu-Gi-Oh! Enthusiasts, both in the US and in the European Union. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays everyone, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one.